Hey guys, it's me again with Seven Wonders, and I just played a really cool game with some very interesting decisions. Like, I would never have thought that I would do a thing that I'm about to do in this game as much as I did. Um, First thing first, this is a replay from Board Game Arena, a decently rated game. Here, one of my absolute favorite wonders. I think I've said it multiple times in the streams. This is great. This is like two posts rolled into one, which is like saving you a card, which is amazing. This is one of the best cards in the second era is free stone for 5 points. This is even better, and this is sometimes tricky, but usually very good, especially in lower player counts. So when I'm playing free player, I will always pick Olimpia B, I think. But probably there is some incentive to pick A, and A is a side I like when I know there is no trading going around. This is like very cheap. Let's compare, for example, this 3 and 7 points to the A side of Giza, which is like 4 stone here. Here there is only 2 golds, which is much better. And this one I don't really love, but it's very interesting because it lets you play with low resources, or can you play something like really crazy when you like hide both gray resources, so nobody will have access to all 3, and you can just build the things that nobody else can because you are the only one with access to them. Okay, so here I will pick B, as we can see, for the reasons I mentioned. And this interface is a little slow. Yeah. Okay, here, like, this is perfect for us, right? In free-player game, there is only this clay pit and this. Both are really good. Clay pits give you access to all the fights. When like, if I have a clay pit, I would pick actually a clay pit over this, I think. Because it would let me pick all the fighting, and fighting is really important in free-player game. Because there is guard tower and there is one that costs gold. But here I'm offered this. Nothing else stands out because this costs, and I don't want to pay right now. This is like, if I'm going for the green strat, I would actually consider this. This is just like worse than this, and this is not unavailable for me. So I'll pick this. Well, let's see if this actually works. I hope it does. Okay, I have to click a couple of times because I have to click for every person that picks. Okay, so here is an interesting hand. This is garbage for us because of this. This is like, I guess, one of the downsides. This is unplayable. This costs too much. And this is like meh. So naturally, I went for the loom. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I figured it out. That's great. Okay, so here is an interesting choice. As I said, fights are really important, and right now I'm like a little starved. I only have wood, so this is my only chance to pick free fight, and I will take it. But there is some consideration to this, and even this. As you can see, at this point in the game, actually, I was a little scared. Because if you can see, here is Babylon B. Babylon has an interesting second stage wonder when it lets you play another card at the end of the era. Normally you have 7 cards, and you play 6 of them, and when you choose from 2, you discard 1 and play the other. So naturally, if you get this in the first era and capitalize on it, so you actually like play a card and not discard it for gold, which you don't normally want to do, it's really cool. So here he has access to all of this. This is after second pick, so he has 4 picks left. He needs 1, 2 to do this, and he is missing 1 gold because he has like access to these 2 and this battle for 1 because of his trading to me and his marketplace to all of us. And then he can pay me 1 for this. So he needs 4 gold. 1, 2, 3, 4. He has 3 right now. But still he can actually discard for money and go for this. I was a little scared because Babylon can run away with this. And I was thinking that he will go for some kind of green strat, either like full green because he has access to a lot of them, and then or he can go for like one of the symbols, the strategy which I call going for color. So I was a little scared to pick this. I was considering going for greens to try and counter, but I thought like, let's play standard, let's go for this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and he actually is going fighting, which surprised me a little, but as I said, I cannot blame him, because in free player, fighting is very important. And he is actually going for green. At this time, I thought this is just a splash. I thought this is like going for these round thingies. I call them circles, basically. So I thought he was going like for 4 circles, which will give him 16 points, and this will be a nice addition. But yeah, I was. He is actually going to pick a papyrus here. So here, I briefly considered this, just going for color, because I thought that if I went this and he went this will be open probably. But I was like, not really. Then I thought, like, let's win fights. This is a good strategy to win fights in free player game. And I had 1 fight. He has this guard tower, which he bought for his starting resource. So I thought, if I pick this, from next hand probably a gold will come to me, like fight for gold, like fight costing 1 gold, and I can win both fights with this. And I was thinking that I'm passing him this, which is good for him because he can build it for free. So there is an incentive to going both of this. Like he can try to go greens with this maybe, but I wasn't really anticipating this. So from this hand, I chose this. And he surprised me by going full green. At this moment, I thought that he will actually pay me too, which I'm fine with because he is paying me. And he will pick this from this next hand. And if you ever get free of all 3 symbols in the first era, you are like in a great shape. All you need then is an access to, because there are 3 cards, 3 green cards in first era, 4 in the second, and 5 in the last one. So if you get all of these for free, like not for free, but if you build them, you have access to 3 more because you can build them for free. And there is also school, which he already has this, and he just needs to pay me to get school. So he will be in a great shape. And I started being scared about this guy, but then I was like, oh my god, I need to stop this guy. But I'm still going to go with my plan, just establish red. This might have been a mistake. This might be a moment to actually bury this. But let's see what happens. Okay, he picks this. I get 2 more gold. I know he will pick the last one from his hand. And here I have a choice. I considered all of 3 choices. Like build this to get some points and get something cheaper. Temple, which I can't actually buy for cheap. I consider building this to have like have 2, but this is actually the weakest choice, I think, because I can buy them for 1, which is fine. And the last one is building a Stage of Wonder. There is no wonder which builds from discard. In the base case, it's only Halicarnassus. So I was like, yeah, let's do that. But there is an incentive to not doing this. This would be like automatic, but when you have like a green player, you want to have choices to bury the green cards under. So this actually might have been a mistake. like I thought about this briefly, but I was like, let's go for the high roll. Let's just try here, and let's see how it pans out. Okay, he built this. He wasn't unable to accomplish this, which I think is a little weird, and this is a misplay on his part, but yeah, I'm fine with that. Okay, so we go into next era, and here I'm passing cards this way, so he can stop him from getting greens, but I wouldn't count on it. My first thought about looking at this hand was like, I'm kind of screwed. I really wanted a caravanserai, but I couldn't get one. Of course, it's one in 3 chance. Maybe even two in 3 because he wouldn't build one. But caravanserai is spoiler is in this guy hand. So I was like, let's establish myself on with fighting and then see what else I can make points out of. As you can see, I really like fighting in 3-player game. Okay, he is going for a lot of yellows, which is like not ideal. And here, I can pick more fighting, but that's actually too much. I can pick this, but I have already one, and I can buy the second one from my neighbor. So this is like, no, I can go for this, but I have access to this. I don't need this for anything immediately. I can go for this, but this is like, this is just a money move. And I need to consider if I will save enough money to justify this, and I think I don't. So I ended up just going for points. I was like, I'm winning fights, I can splash some blues, I can establish myself with a lot of points, and maybe this will carry me through. I have cheap access to resources. If I don't buy many resources, a lot of players will starve, and they have to pay me, and they actually pay me more, except for this guy, of course. So this should work fine. He's building resources. He's going for greens, which is understandable. And this is an interesting hand because there is 2 of the tables are here, and he can starve for tables. So school is really important, and I actually, like, my first thought was like, even when I saw the second hand, I knew that there is school in the third hand. I was surprised that he actually didn't build this. I was like really surprised. And I was like, okay, let's bury this and let's hope that this guy buries it. And at this point, I was like, no way he's gonna bury this. Like he won't notice. But what ended up happening is actually I buried this, he buried this, and he did starve a little on the tables. So this is like really important to, like, burying cards is a team effort. Like, I think that this guy like counted cards and knew that I buried this, and if he can see me burying here, he knows that it's something important, and he can see what this guy is building, and this is like super scary. So him burying this is like great play for both of us. Here I was like, this is okay. I need some bricks, but some like clay, but still, I have access to this. I don't really like need it. This is like okay, but yeah, nobody will buy this from me, so meh. So I decided to spend my last resources and actually buy this. Like, if I don't buy this, he will. He will probably buy this too, but I'd rather have 5 than 4 points, obviously. There was a consideration of building a wonder, but I thought that this is too early, and I need this pick for the later stages. Okay, and he's building fight, which is terrible, because if he wins fight with him, then there is no way I can catch up to this guy. So usually I want to have I want to have a higher count of shields, like much higher than this guy, to just not let him have fights. Like in the next era, he will pass me the cards, so I will be under his influence. Like he has a stronger chance to screw me over red. But this time I actually want him to build this, so I'm passing this to him for sure. I was thinking about just building this because this is obviously the only thing that we can buy from this hand. But I thought I need some money. This pick is terrible, so let's just throw a card and see what happens next. Yeah, so he built this one, and here I can spend all my money. I cannot build this because I have this already, or I can build a wonder. So naturally, I was just like, let's build a wonder and let's try to build, where is it? An arena in the next round, because no one will be interested in arena. I think like this guy can build this and be interested in arena, sure, but this guy won't. And there is also like better cards than arena. Like there isn't like 8 points, there's like 7 points which this guy can build. So I was like hoping to get arena in the first 3 rounds and snowball from there with the monies. So I was like, let's build a wonder. And I'm still counting on this guy building fight. And he's playing this really well up to this point. I think he overstepped a little with these, and he should have maybe bought this earlier, and then he would have like all of them, and maybe he could even picked one of the green cards. So he has like an incentive to build this later. But so far so good. Here's his last card. I would actually play this under wonder probably. This is like too weak for me, but yeah. Okay, and here you can see that my strategy was basically shit. This is like first hand in the last era. This is like when you make the most of the points. And I have no cards that give me any points. This gives me like less than throwing a card out. This gives me less than throwing a card out, because throwing a card out gives you 1 point. So I was like, I'm going to throw a card out. And I'm still worried about the greens. He can still have free, except when I throw this away, there is only one table more in this era, and he at most will have 2 sets. So I was like, okay, I'm throwing this away. So this is the second time that I'm throwing a card away. A thing that normally you won't ever want to do. And here I'm very happy. He built this. Like I'm generally happy that this is in the game. So he built this, and I can copy this from. So my wonder is being used, which is sometimes can be an issue. And in the second pick, I already have arena, which is great. And this happened because of 2 things. Like he didn't build a last stage, so arena was like less valuable to him. He wanted to build this, and I cannot blame him. This looks like it will give him 8 points at least. And here is a second hand. This is worth 5 points to me, so not that great. This is worth 4 points, and it costs way too much. This is good. I would like to build this, but this is much more important. And I can also try to win fights, but I was like, I'm winning with this guy already. He isn't very interested in fighting, and yeah, I can just manage it from here. So I was like, let's build this. He picks this, which is great for him. He picks a lot of points. That's very nice. And here, this is like the only decent pick here for me. At this moment, I realized that I'm kinda wrong. Like, if he picks fights and then he picks fight, I cannot build this, so I would lose both. But I was like, probably they won't see this, and spoiler, they won't. This is pretty bad, but I'm still counting that it will come back to me, because it's some points for me at least. And I was like, let's just build this. I have a lot of money. This is worth a lot. And I'm paying all the money I can to Pavel, because Pavel is behind. He builds 8, and like this round is going great for him. He's like 8, 7, this one. This is really good. Okay, and this hand is terrible. And I was considering throwing something, but it really doesn't matter. So I'm just picking this, which gives me 2 points, which is really not great. And I was like, I have a lot of points carrying me over from the round, because I built 9 here in the previous era. I won all the fights. I have this, and I build my wonder and stuff like that. But these points are like really not great. It was a little fortunate, because the greens ended up being all in one hand, which means that this guy cannot pick as many of them. But this is also a shortcoming of a green strategy, because those things will happen. You cannot plan for them, and when you are going green, you are a little screwed when this happens. Also, on the other hand, this helps you a little. You can adjust, because you know that you will get them from those hands. Like when he saw first this hand, he knew that he will get the second one for sure. So he can plan along, and what he actually wants to do in this example is like starve us out. So he actually wants to pick like other cards from this hand. This was a good pick, because University was really important to him, but he wants to pick all of the other cards, so we don't have any choices. Like green cards are really bad for us. This is of course a little weirder here, because he has Babylon, which means he wants some green cards. But usually in this example, if it wasn't for Babylon, he usually wants to pick anything other than green, which is against intuition, but actually what works better. He picks fight, and here is like a really, really fun moment in this game. So I was like, I cannot build the third fight. I cannot bury it, I can throw it away, but he's getting this fight here. It's like the last card, the fortifications. And he can build them for free, because he has walls, which goes into future free construction fortification. So I was like, he will do it. And I will, even if I build this, I will lose fight to him. And if I don't build this, I win the fight against him. But like this Giza player, can build this. So I was like, what I have to do? Normally I would bury this under my wonder, but I built this already. So I was like, okay, this means I have to throw this away. So this is like a third card I'm throwing away. A thing that usually you don't want to do any time. Like if you are Babylon and you are throwing like one card to get the other card, it's fine. But in no other cases you want to be throwing a card away. So this is the third time in this game I'm throwing a card away, and it's not even a last pick. And I was like, do I have to throw for the fourth time? Let's see if I do. And thankfully I don't, and I correctly anticipated that he will build this, and I was like, at the same time happy and sad, because like he overthrew me on points, but it's fine because I'm winning a fight against him, and he actually made a mistake here. I think like he should have built this probably, like he's anticipated. This was like a game of chicken, right? Because if I build this, then he loses. But if I know that he will build, then he's feeling sad, right? Because he didn't have to build this, he would win both fights already, and he could have gained more points. And I think he should have gambled a little, because he's too far behind. And here I'm happy because this gives me some points. This also gives me some points. This gives me 5. Which is not bad, but this 5 costing 5 is like 3 and 1/3, and this is also 3 and 1/3, and I don't have to pay anyone to get it, so this is better. So I was like, let's just pick this and see, and I was optimistic about the result. And as you can see, final situation, here he picks this, and he will also picks this, which gives him only 3 points, which is terrible. He wins both fights, which is nice. He loses every fight in this game. And I ended up winning. A little narrowly, but that's still 3 points more. It's really nice. So in the end, I won a game where I threw 3 cards away, which was like super interesting to me, and I wanted to share with you guys. And I don't think anyone played like really bad. There are some maybe weird choices here. And going for green with Giza was also like challenging, but he ended up like great. He was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards for resources. This is like a safe pick in the last era. He built a lot of this. He builds like good green cards. This was maybe unnecessary, but it forced us into bad decisions, so not too bad. Overall, very happy with how this game played, and just wanted to share with you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. And maybe I will do some more replay analysis in the future, because it lets me pick the best games for you instead of playing and hoping that the game will be good. Thank you for watching, and see you around. Bye bye.